big torches. No, we only aim at tops. Big oppas, big scorches. No, we torch. They know smoke been in his cheek. He got the hood on lock.
The search is on for the drive-by gunman who shot and killed a 31-year-old man in West Oak Lane. Police say they opened fire there as he walked near Pistorius and Baton Streets around 6:30.
Yeah, and I got back for mine. Ask last nigga, you dissed it and then you next in line. The way he came out when we spent the block, it was the perfect time. I'm only seeing what I want to be, yeah, I'm hard to find. Tap his head and watch the blood rush from his top, got me excited. DOAs, we get up close, he get no chance to be a fighter. I won't say no names cause I ain't trying to get indicted. If you know, we push in the air just like a pilot.
One family is now grieving the death of their son. Police leaders say shootings are happening far too often and also at any and all times of the day. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live in West Oak Lane with more on the ongoing problem. Walter, this just doesn't end.
That's right, Sarah. As you know, we do a lot of stories about homicides, and commonly those homicides occur under the cloak of night. That's why we emphasize whenever it happens in broad daylight. Now, though, daytime violence more and more is becoming commonplace.
Broad daylight.
Lisa Dixon is describing the scene that ended with the murder of her son, Brandon Dixon, yesterday afternoon on the 1000 block of East Mount Airy Avenue.
I'm just hurt. I'm searching for answers. I need to be where he was last alive.
Sadly, Brandon Dixon is among hundreds of people shot during daylight hours.
Bro, take a on them niggas' block.
Shot, no.
Disrespectful. You disrespectful bitch.
The city was terrorized in 2020 through 2023 by overeager, reckless, and misguided young boys who caused chaos wherever they lay their head. Drill rap made it cool to rap about, quote, wreck, and rappers used it to gain quick fame and clout before quickly throwing their lives away. How about Blick's quick rise and clout grab and attention lasted less than 2 years? He popped out as Smoke PNB in 2022 before changing his name and was gaining hundreds of thousands of views almost immediately. If you looked away for a second, by 2023, he was already in jail facing 2 counts of murder among many other serious charges. But Blick didn't make a name rapping about that incident at first. He made a name for himself rapping about other murders that his gang allegedly was responsible for. Blick is from Germantown and his guys are from PNB. I did a whole 2-part documentary about PNB and Hop Out Blick, so check them out for a lot more context. But for those who didn't see it, a real quick recap. PNB is a set from Germantown, very different from Uptown, as so many were quick to point out when I foolishly combined the two and said Germantown was considered a part of Uptown. My bad about that. Also, I went over their ever-present war with WSM or Westside Mafia. I also talked about the losses on their side took, as well as the losses WSM took. One of the WSM losses PNB rappers like Blick rapped about was the murder of Brandon Dixon. This was a highly publicized murder as it happened at a gas station in broad daylight. I remember seeing one video of the shooting on YouTube with over 13 million views. Major out-of-town news outlets like People Online covered it. The right-wing tabloids like the Daily Mail, the US Sun, and the New York Post picked it up as food for their culture war. Born on November 19, 1991, Brandon grew up in Germantown. He was a talented and compassionate young man with a deep love for sports, his family, and community. He excelled at both basketball and football from a young age, playing for the Mount Airy Bantams and eventually earning recognition for his dedication to the team. However, as crime in the area increased, Brandon's mother, Lisa Dixon, decided to move the family to Plymouth Meeting in Montgomery County to ensure their safety. At Plymouth White Marsh High School, Brandon thrived both academically and athletically. He became a standout varsity basketball player, helping his team win the Class AAAA state championship in 2010. Despite his success in sports, after one semester at Manor College in Jenkintown, Brandon realized that college wasn't for him. He began working for a roofing company and later became a father in 2017. Brandon had a close relationship with his mother, Lisa, who worked as a Head Start teacher. The two shared a special bond with birthdays in the same week and a strong connection built on love and mutual respect. Lisa was deeply involved in Brandon's life, and they supported each other through all of life's challenges. She eventually moved back to Germantown after inheriting her grandmother's house, despite her concerns about the neighborhood's safety. Brandon's death devastated his family, especially his mother, who has struggled with the loss but remains determined to find something positive in the tragedy. Despite her grief, she has expressed a desire to help the people responsible for her son's death, believing that they lack the social and emotional nurturing necessary to lead fulfilling lives. She wants to channel her pain into action, advocating against the availability of assault-style weapons and continuing to be a caring presence in the lives of the young children she teaches.
New video you will only see on Fox 29 tonight, a deadly shooting at a gas station. Dawn, it is chilling to watch.
It absolutely, Shayna, is chilling. It's disturbing. You can see the victim running to get away from a barrage of bullets and people running for cover as this all unfolds at a busy gas station in the middle of the afternoon.
I feel like my heart has been snatched out of my whole body.
Lisa Dixon is reeling over the murder of her son Brandon in the middle of the afternoon at a Liberty gas station in East Mount Airy. This is the chilling surveillance video obtained by Fox 29 of the 30-year-old walking out and getting ready to pump gas when two men jump out of a red car with semi-automatic weapons and start firing at him.
I don't know who's raising these children, but they don't care. They have no empathy in them. They have no nothing in them. They don't care. And they took my baby's life.
The video shows Brandon running away, trying to escape the barrage of bullets, but he was shot multiple times throughout his body and did not make it.
Having a child taken from you is just unbelievable.
This mom says the senseless shootings in Philadelphia have to stop and the city has to do something.
Because our kids is dying. They're dying every day, 3-4 times a day. They just dying.
Lisa Dixon says Brandon was a standout high school basketball player at Plymouth Whitemarsh back in the day and was not in any trouble.
I would put my hand on the Bible. My son, that one, was not into anything. He was not.
She says he was a good person and a good father to his 5-year-old daughter, Jordan.
I love my daddy.
She said, I'm not going to see my dad anymore. And I told her, I said, well, he's here with us. He's always going to be here with us. And I said, everything's going to be all right. We're going to get through this.
Now, the victim's mom tells me that she saw him not too long before this all happened, and he told her that she and his daughter and his girlfriend were his 3 favorite girls. She hugged him and said goodbye, I love you, never imagining she would never, ever see him again. The 2 suspects remain on the loose. Jason?
It's just heartbreaking to hear that, mother. Dawn, thank you very much.
If you ain't jumping out, you can't get in his whip. Caught him out there pumping and they hit him in his shit. They not just pumping out. We hit a nigga in his chest and then he tumbled backwards. This one nigga tried to run, he should've ran faster. Should've took me. L. Curry Doe and BD, that's a big 3. Ain't no point of running, you ain't ducking for no switch. We had caught a nigga pumping, there was no more B Dixon. Bitch, I'm big PNB, no, I'm WS, I'm KB. Torches, we the one that's cracking scars in broad day, the shit horror. Tell BD to spin your block in broad day, the big scorer. Bitch, we GUC, we get up close, hop out that wheel and chase him. Once L. Curry turned up his bag, is over, you can't see.
Nigga, I could pop my shit, my homie killer in the ground. It's a torture party, everybody got them bees. Jump out them cars and over top. Niggas bitching, saying please. Jump out, boy, they know I jump out and just squeeze. Bro jumped out on him, bro, they why you think his name be D? We hop out them cars and run shit down. Shout out to 3, nigga, we been catching murder.
Could be long like a trunk on an elephant. Try to run from the doctors and melon split. Feel like ball with the hammer, I'm nuts. Ain't go.
Hot car, they get busy. You know them churches can't be stopped. Niggas got coke pumping, and they got chicks stand with that yacht. You can look at switch, nigga. Don't run, don't trip. I had 30 niggas loafing at that Getty. Got up on him, did him dirty. This that gas station left. This that 30 on pump 5. Real get backers, ain't even take a week when Tino died. Nigga, this Marino block. You speak on Tino, you gon' die. How they claim he innocent, but he in pics like free to God. Try to run, he trip, nigga. Coke on pumping gas, fuck me dicks, nigga. Yeah, coke on pumping gas, fuck me. He died for no reason, he was in them pics. His mom try to make him innocent, like nigga, fuck me dicks.
On Monday, May 9th, 2022, at approximately 2:30 p.m., officers assigned to the 14th Police District responded to a radio call to investigate a shooting at Lober and East Mount Airy Avenue. Upon arrival, officers located a black male shooting victim on the highway at 8200 Rodney Street. The victim, later identified as Brandon Dixon, was transported to Albert Einstein Medical Center where he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at 2:43 p.m. Surveillance footage captured the actual shooting occurring on the lot of the Liberty gas station at 1060 East Mount Airy Avenue. The crime scene was processed by members of the Philadelphia Police Department, CSU. Recovered were 7 9mm fire cartridge casings and 10 7.62 X39 caliber fire cartridge casing and 1 copper fragment from the gas station lot. The 7.62 X39 is a smaller cased .30 caliber, also known as an intermediate round. Most notably, this round finds its home in the world-famous AK-47. The 7.62 X39 provides good power within 300 yards. Surveillance footage was recovered from the Liberty gas station at the crime scene. The footage captured the deceased arriving on location while operating a silver Chevy Equinox. Brandon Dixon pulled alongside gas pump number 5, exited the Chevy, and entered the gas station store. As Brandon was inside the store, surveillance footage captures a red Mazda sedan bearing New Jersey tags arriving on location from Mount Airy Avenue, driving to the area of the gas pumps. The Mazda stopped approximately 10 feet behind the silver Chevy Equinox. As Brandon exited the store and returned to the gas pump, the Mazda pulled a short distance away from the Chevy, at which time 2 people exited the rear door of the Mazda and immediately began shooting at Brandon Dixon. As Brandon ran across the lot towards Rodney Avenue, both shooters chased him a short distance before returning to the Mazda and entering the car. The shooter who exited the left rear door was firing a dark handgun with what appears to be an extended clip and appeared to be wearing gloves and wearing all black clothing. The second shooter who exited the right rear door was firing an assault-type weapon and was not wearing gloves. Surveillance footage clearly captured this shooter pulling the right rear door closed with their right hand. Surveillance from a property on Rodney Avenue captured Brandon approaching the east sidewalk along Rodney Ave before falling to the ground as he began to bleed profusely. He was found on the ground, and the Mazda is seen driving past him and returning seconds later. It appears that Dixon was shot several more times by someone inside the Mazda as he was down on the ground. Recovered from the street a few feet away from where he fell were an additional 7 9mm FCCs. The Mazda was last seen traveling westbound on Mount Airy Avenue towards Mansfield. On Tuesday, May 10, 2022, a doctor at the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office conducted a post-mortem exam on the remains of Brandon Dixon. This doctor's findings and opinion lists Dixon's cause of death as multiple gunshot wounds and the manner of death, homicide. These autopsy reports always mentions this to establish the deceased was murdered, and now there is a homicide investigation officially underway. On Thursday, May 12th, police assigned to the Fugitive Task Force contacted investigators alerting them of a video that had recently been posted on the Philly Scoreboard Instagram page. Philly Scoreboard is an open source social media page on Instagram that discusses acts of violence between gangs across the city of Philadelphia. The video was from the user account Broad Day PNB. Further checks on social media platforms revealed Kevin Yip as being the account holder for the account Broad Day PNB. Interesting, in the video, the user is heard rapping about, quote, jumping out and chasing after a nigga trying to hit his brain. The lyrics were very similar to the circumstances of Brandon Dixon's death and seemed to be mocking Dixon's death, it said in a report. Included on the page for Broad Day PNB was a photo of Darrell Felton. Felton is a murder victim. Criminal intelligence reports indicate Broad Day PNB is Kevin Yip, and they call him BD. It further indicates that Darrell Felton is known as Tino PNB or Marino. They are both associates of Pastorius and Bainton, aka the PNB gang, it read in the arrest affidavit for Leon Harris. It went on to say that they were involved in ongoing feuds with men from West Germantown area, commonly referred to as the West Side Mafia or WSM. Processing photos taken of BD during prior arrests depicts the lettering PNB on Kevin Yip's forearm and WSMK in front of a Nemo-style fish. On Thursday, May 12, 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department Real-Time Crime Center received a tip identifying a male Alien Harris, and IG account Leon PNB as the male who was firing the AK-47 during the shooting of Brandon Dixon. On Friday, May 13th, 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department Real-Time Crime Center received 2 additional tips concerning the murder of the victim, Brandon Dixon. The tip identified the shooters as Leon and the Instagram account Leon PNB, and Kevin, wrong name Johnson, having an Instagram account for Broad Day PNB. The tip identified Doughboy and Instagram account Doughboy PNB as being the getaway driver. The tip identified all 3 males as being part of the notorious PNB gang. Now I want to stop right here because when I read these official reports, I myself am not pointing the finger at anybody. Officially right now, only Leon has been charged with this murder. So the fact that 2 other people are in this report, I'm just reading the report. I'm not pinning anything on anybody, because in the Mirror Pod video, people said I was trying to pin shit on FS and pin shit on Baby Yap. What I was doing was reading an arrest affidavit, okay? And this is what it says in the arrest affidavit. So back to the affidavit. The secondary tip stated that on the day of the decedent, Brandon Dixon's death, Doughboy PNB posted a picture while in front of a visual for another PNB gang member identified in the tip as Marino, aka Tino, with the caption, quote, "It ain't no better feeling watching them fall knowing you got it your way. #close range." Tino is the nickname for Darrell Felton, as I said earlier. Felton was murdered on May 1st, 2022 at Pastorius and Bayton. An arrest was made in this case, and the offender was found as being a member of the West Side Mafia. On Friday, May 13th, 2022, detectives received a call inside the homicide unit from a caller who reported seeing the red Mazda involved in this murder parked on the 400 block of West Price Street. At approximately 11 o'clock in the morning on this same day, the red Mazda bearing New Jersey tags, as seen in the gas station shooting, was recovered unoccupied at the location on 400 Price Street by police. The vehicle was placed on property receipt, listed to be fingerprinted, and towed to the police storage lot. Records checks revealed that this vehicle was listed in stolen status after it was taken on May 6, 2022 at the location of 5400 Angora, as the owner left the vehicle running while she was making a food delivery. On Tuesday, May 17, 2022, officers via a search warrant recovered from the interior of the vehicle DNA swabs, latent prints, and 4 9mm fired cartridge casings, or FCCs. On Friday, May 20th, 2022, at approximately 1:10 p.m., police received a call inside the homicide unit from a person who did not want to provide their identity. The caller informed police that the front passenger of the getaway car was the brother of Doughboy PNB. During this investigation, Doughboy was identified as being Tyree Lennon. Further investigation checks revealed Tamir Lennon, or Baby Stu, as being the brother of Doughboy PNB, aka Tyree Lennon. Once again, I am reading straight from this report. I am not insinuating anything. I don't know nothing from nothing. I'm just reading the report. On Monday, June 27th, 2022, suspect Alien Harris was arrested by officers for firearms violation. During Harris's arrest, officers recovered a 9mm Taurus pistol, model G25, which is loaded with a total of 5 live rounds, and a 9mm Polymer 80 pistol with no serial number that had an extended magazine and a total of 28 live 9mm Luger rounds. The weapons were placed on property receipt and submitted to the Firearms Investigation Unit. A DNA sample was recovered from Alien Harris. Detectives requested DNA comparisons between Alien and the 9mm polymer recovered from him. During the investigation, police received an ATF NIBIN report that connected the 9mm Polymer 80 pistol that was recovered during Harris's arrest to the 9mm fired cartridge casings that were recovered from the murder scene at the Liberty gas station. In September, a positive match came back. On Thursday, July 29th, 2023, Leon accepted a plea deal for carrying firearms in the public in Philadelphia, resulting from his arrest on June 27, 2022. Harris was then sentenced to 1.5 to 23 months confinement, with 1 year probation in that case. Police had been in contact with the director of the PPD Forensic Science Center DNA Laboratory and made a request to have Leon Harris's DNA sample recovered during his arrest for firearms violations be compared to DNA evidence recovered from the scene of the murder and DNA evidence recovered from inside the recovered red Mazda with New Jersey tags. On Sunday, September 10th, 2023, detectives went to 7901 State Road, CFCF, and obtained 4 DNA swabs from Harris. Harris, now aware that a murder is being pinned on him, was uncooperative with detectives and told them to speak to his lawyer. First smart decision I've seen him make so far in this story. It didn't end there for Liam, however. On December 11, 2023, months before his arrest, at approximately 10:49 p.m., police responded to a radio call for a person with a gun at Albury Park Apartments, located on the 6300 block of Chew Avenue. Complainant was taken to Einstein Hospital for 2 gunshot wounds to the chest, once in his left arm, and several gunshot wounds to both legs. A scene was located in the stairwell at the location and inside of the apartment that the victims eventually ran to, consisting of several fired cartridge casings. Witness WJ, uninjured, was located and transported to the Shooting Investigations Group headquarters. The witness WJ was interviewed by detectives. In summary, she stated that she and the victim were sitting in the stairwell smoking. The witness WJ noticed offender 1, a dark-complected male with a hooded sweatshirt wearing a COVID mask, lean over the stair banister and look at them. The witness WJ then heard footsteps and observed offender number 2 and offender number 3 in the stairwell. The witness heard several gunshots coming from offenders number 2 and number 3. The witness WJ covered herself up. When the gunshot stopped, she observed the complainant DD bleeding and fired cartridge casings where the offenders were standing. The offenders fled in an unknown direction. The victim/complainant DD and witness WJ went to an apartment where a resident contacted police. Once inside her home, the complainant DD told her to lock the door before she called 911. The resident stated that she did not know the complainant DD or the witness WJ prior to the incident. The victim DD was interviewed while being treated at Einstein Hospital by detectives. The victim/complainant DD, in summary, stated he and the witness WJ were smoking in the staircase and basically restated the witness's recollection. When asked if witness WJ could have any involvement in the shooting, he said no. The complainant DD stated the offenders did not say anything or attempt to rob him. He stated they did not seem familiar to him. He has lived in that apartment complex for several years, and there is a possibility the offenders lived in the same complex. Video surveillance shows 2 offenders fleeing from the exit door on the ground level with firearms in their hands. Those males were observed fleeing southbound on Washington Lane. A detective interviewed the victim DD after being released from the hospital. In summary, DD believes the shooting may have been a result of an ongoing gang dispute. The complainant DD stated he does not have any direct involvement. A photo array was shown by detectives to DD, and he identified Elion Harris from Chew Avenue. He couldn't positively ID the other 2. Once again, Leon is being pointed out alone. When you have light skin and light eyes, you are very easy for someone to recognize. These both are ongoing cases, and Leon is innocent until proven guilty. He faces court and possible trial in the next 9 to 12 months, so I'll keep everyone posted. I mentioned earlier that PNB Tino was murdered on May 1st of 2022 on his block of Pastorius and Baton. An arrest was made in this case, and the offender was found as being a member of the West Side Mafia. LaShawn Morris was charged in the death of PNB Tino. On Sunday, May 1st, 2022, at approximately 6:42 p.m., plainclothes officers assigned to the 14th District were on patrol in the area of Baton and Pastoria Streets when they heard numerous gunshots and observed the occupants of a dark gray Nissan SUV shooting at a male, later identified as Darrell Felton, 31 years old. Officers returned fire at the occupants of the SUV, who then fled. Felton was struck numerous times by the offender's gunfire and was taken by police to Albert Einstein Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at 8:02 p.m. CSU processed the scene and recovered 29 9mm FCCs, 7 .40 caliber FCCs, and 1 copper fragment. Homicide personnel were able to obtain surveillance footage for the date and time of the murder. PNB Tino is observed walking south on Baton Street at 6:41:05 p.m. Seconds later, at 6:41:27 p.m., a dark gray Nissan Kicks follows behind, traveling south on Baton Street, approaching Pastorius. PNB Tino is shot and killed moments later, which leads to the officers discharging their firearms. Officers stated to their supervisor that they thought that they hit the Nissan before the males entered it and fled. Ring surveillance footage covering the intersection of Pastorius and Baton Street, approximately 20 minutes prior to the murder, shows a dark gray Nissan Kicks with PA tags stopping at the stop sign, making a left on Baton and then making a right on Herman Street towards Germantown Ave. This vehicle was observed on surveillance from several different locations in the vicinity, circling prior to the murder. The vehicle would prove pivotal in catching LaShawn. The vehicle was reported stolen from Weaver Street on May 4th, 2022 by the owner, SL. The complainant, SL, told police she parked her car on Weaver Street, then went to her daughter's house because she was feeling ill. When she returned on May 4th, her vehicle was missing. Through surveillance video, officers discovered at no time is a Nissan Kicks observed where SL said it was. In other words, she's lying. This obviously raised alarm bells for detectives. 12 hours later, the vehicle was found on fire in New Jersey. Witnesses spotted two people running away and hopping into a gray Buick LaCrosse. The vehicle was towed and put into a police impound lot. Bullet holes were observed in the rear of the vehicles and fingerprints were lifted. Back to SL. Police were able to follow her to her daughter BL's house, and BL happened to own a Buick LaCrosse. LaShawn Morris was pulled over in that very same Buick LaCrosse in September of 2021. Police honed in on LaShawn Morris as a suspect and were able to tie cell tower records of his whereabouts on the night of the murder, as well as his whereabouts on the night that the car was set on fire.
The search is on for the drive-by gunman who shot and killed a 31-year-old man in West Oak Lane. Police say they opened fire there as he walked near Pastorius and Baton Streets around 6:30. He was hit 15 times. Two plainclothes officers investigating an unrelated homicide witnessed the shooting and, in return, fired on the gunman.
It appears that the vehicle that the shooters were in was struck by gunfire. It's unclear at this time, however, if anyone in that vehicle was struck by gunfire from discharging police officers.
The officers were not hurt. Police are looking for a late model dark silver Nissan SUV and 2 to 3 shooters.
This bitch be torches, we really put niggas on them benches. I don't diss, but niggas got me in my bag, they keep on diss. Be a fighter. I won't say no names cause I ain't trying to get indicted. If you know we push it in the air just like a pirate. I be with head tappers, listen on my guys get put to bed after. Fuck a dead rapper, them niggas lying, they ain't getting active. Put them niggas up, we hopped out blicking, shoulda ran faster. The team we in them V's, been through them jobs, fuck them keepers creep, God keep it peace. Bitch I lost my dogs, I can't keep the peace, it's DOA. Put that out to sleep, put him on D&D. Don't give no fuck about who you is, don't give no fuck about who you gang. This that west side shit, this shit been running through my veins. Bitch, I bleed 6'5" for my dead homies, I'ma bang. Hop in that V, I'm trying to put this nigga homie on the chain. We made the torches for the flame, we made them niggas for our pain. You see what we did to you, bro, we catch you, we gon' do the same. Pop up out that striker on your block, I'm trying to make a mess. Niggas acting fine like a rep, get hit up with this tech. Westside beat the mob, 6'5" double O the fucking set. Disrespect the dead and on my dead, I'm leaving niggas. Yeah, and I got back for mine. Ask last nigga, you dissed the dead and then you next in line. The way he came out when we spent the block, shit was the perfect time. I'm only seeing what I want to be, yeah, I'm hard to find.
An arrest warrant was issued for LaShawn. He was charged with murder, conspiracy, and various gun crimes. A waiver trial is set for November of 2024. Rest in peace to Brandon Dixon and all the other fallen mentioned on this channel. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thanks for watching American Confidential, and until next time, be safe.